parts, and the first part started way before I was born. When my elder brother decided that all his store-bought toys were really boring, and having a younger sister who was around would be a really great idea. So he preached to my parents, and they obliged. And about 9 months later, my sister popped out, but with her even I did. So now, in the first 2 or 3 months of their pregnancy, they had sketched out some basic idea of, you know what, this is what I want my little girl to be like. But जब 5 महीने बाद पता चला कि when I'm coming, they were too taken in by the peril and turmoil of pregnancy to plan something out for me. So naturally, I grew up with very less structure and with a lot more freedom than my fellow siblings. And don't get me wrong, I loved each minute of it. But my structured siblings, they went on to excel at music and art, respectively. And anytime a relative came over, which any Marwadi will tell you is all the damn time, they used to come over, and these guys used to be the center of attention, and I used to be a spectator. And that was the time when I started feeling that, you know what, even I want a claim to fame. I want an identity of sorts. But very soon, this was bordering on obsession. Coming to my second part. One day when I was 12 years old, my mom goes to the store and she brings home perhaps man's greatest invention till date, an electric sandwich maker. And now, what happens in that very day, she showed me how to make a sandwich. Pretty easy, take 2 slices of bread, put something in between, flick a switch, ready. And this stupid boy, he took that to be his performing art. So anytime a guest came over, I was the entertainer. I would create the weirdest contraptions 2 slices of bread could hold together, and I would be in charge of food. Now when someone starts making banana cauliflower sandwiches, there's only so many guests that will tolerate, right? And with not a lot to do in my life, I became the guinea pig for my experiments. Now most of them involved cheese, and I gorged on them. So by the age of 14, I weighed around 80 kilos, and I was like this short. So my family genes and that sandwich had done me a solid. So post that, and see, this was no age of hashtag body positivity, etc. Okay, I faced a lot of ostracization in school, a lot of bullying. I became the last one to get picked at sports, boy-girl parties, koi invite nahi karta tha. And what else? Like, I just got left out of stuff, and I became the butt of a lot of jokes. Now, what happens when you're craving an identity for so long, and then they give you one, but you hate it. So that's the time I got pushed back into the background. Now, before I proceed to my third part, I have 2 questions for you guys today. Show of hands, okay? If you guys were given a chance to go back into your childhood, how many of you would change something? Wow, you got really underconfident today. And second question, coming to me, because this is all about me. What do you think, if I was given a chance at that point, would I have gone back and changed something? Wow, and you guys are spot on. I'm so glad I did. I'll tell you why. So when I was 4 years old, my elder brother did the best thing. He taught me how to surf the internet when I was 4 years old. Okay? Get the dirty thoughts out. When I was 4 years old, I was surfing the internet. Now, I grew up with people like Enid Blyton and Roald Dahl as my English teachers, okay, and people like J.K. Rowling telling me about Harry Potter, telling me about all the mythical stuff possible. And when later in life I was getting ostracized in school, I spent more and more time sitting on that desk, getting fatter, but at the same time, I started taking management lessons, learning from companies like Amazon and Facebook. I got heavily inspired by people like Steve Jobs, by Jeff Bezos, by Richard Branson, and I decided that, you know what, I want to emulate these guys. And that's when, I'm forgetting something, just a sec. So that's when I started getting heavily inspired by these guys, their life progressions, right? Now this habit of acquiring knowledge was building itself very unconsciously, quietly, but religiously. And all all of this was in the background, but it all came rushing into the foreground when I really needed it. Now, I can't rap like my boys there, but I can rhyme, okay? So, with all this knowledge, I entered college. Unnecessary facts became useful information that led to goals as quizzing and massive network creation. What's the next one? Phone, right? I channeled all my childhood creativity. Started a millennial meme page. At 70,000 fans, the wise Indian uncle is an online page. My crowning glory came when I excelled at an internship, cutting a startup's losses. Cut to a year later, they are worth $2 million and I'm running their Mumbai office. It's just a story of silent preparation, meeting opportunity. And it not this time, it didn't lead to one, but multiple identities, all that I'm happy about. And with that, I just want to leave you guys with one thought. In this world, there's only one thing that we really own, that we have complete ownership of. And that is our reaction to the things that happen around us. Yes. Glad I got it. Thank you so much. You guys